Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. That is right, I am back from vacation. I'm back from Mardi Gras, and it is time to talk about Antonio Brown. Finally, thank you. Finally being traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've been talking about this dude for the past week. We've been speculating. We've been talking about him potentially being traded to the Buffalo Bills by Ian Rappaport of NFL.com. Turns out he didn't know what he was talking about. Adam Schefter came in and said, no, he is still a Pittsburgh Steeler. But then finally news came down last night, that Antonio Brown has been traded to the Oakland Raiders in exchange for a 3rd and 5th round pick. So we're going to talk about this trade from both teams' perspectives. First from the Oakland Raiders, and second from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So for the Oakland Raiders, I know it is in vogue, I know it's popular, I know it's a big thing to hate on the Raiders, to criticize everything that they do, and justifiably so. They've done a lot of stupid things in the past year ever since they signed Jon Gruden. But this was, to me, a good move by the Oakland Raiders. In fact, I would even say a really good move and potentially a great move. First of all, they only give up a 3rd and a 5th round pick. That's not much compensation. All right, I know they're picking at the top of the 3rd round, so yeah, that hurts a little bit, but the 5th round, that doesn't hurt much at all. You don't really mind losing that for the best wide receiver in the NFL. Although he is a head case, okay, he is still, to me, the best wide receiver in the NFL, but DeAndre Hopkins is getting very, very close, and he may surpass him this year, and I think he probably will. But for right now, I'm still giving those props to Mr. Antonio Brown. So you only give up a 3rd and a 5th round pick, and you sorely needed a wide receiver. Okay, we could not trot out Jordy Nelson yet again as our #1 wide receiver. We just couldn't do it. Okay, we were just not interested in that. I know Amari Cooper was there heading into this year. Y'all traded him. You guys were tired of him. And then now you have Antonio Brown. So you eventually, it took you a while, but you upgraded, right? You went from Amari Cooper to Antonio Brown. Now the question is, okay, Amari Cooper looked damn good for the Cowboys. Amari Cooper could be better than Antonio Brown in a couple years, but I still think for a couple of years, 1 or 2 seasons, Antonio Brown will have the leverage over Amari Cooper, so you upgraded, okay? So you like that. Now, yes, Antonio Brown is going to be 31 playing this season, but, I mean, the guy is still an excellent route runner. He's never been a guy that's gotten away with, being a great receiver due to his speed, that he has this ridiculous speed. I think he ran a 640 in the combine. His thing, he's just so damn skilled. He runs routes so beautifully. He knows what routes to run. He knows cornerbacks and how to attack cornerbacks. You just look at him going against Richard Sherman to play different against him, as well Aqib Talib, as well other type of cornerbacks. He's just so skilled and so smart on that football field. Off it, he's a freaking joke. The guy's bleaching his mustache. He's on the shop. You can't understand a word he's saying because his South Floridian accent is so deep. I don't know what he's saying, all right? But from the little stuff I can pick up, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, I know Big Ben, can be a big ego guy, can be an annoying guy, but look, okay, he will not have, to me, as much production as he had for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I do believe he should have a better relationship with the Raiders. There is a question of a personality clash potential between he and Jon Gruden, right? Will they get along? I tell you this, they will initially, right? Throughout training camp, Jon Gruden is going to say, I love you, man. He's going to be like, I love you, man. You're my favorite wide receiver. You're such a great wide receiver. We're going to get you the ball, man. It's going to be great. But when the losses come through, when Antonio Brown makes the occasional mistake and Jon Gruden calls him out, that's where issues could come. Now, at the quarterback position, Derek Carr, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Derek Carr is a guy that will call you out if you do something wrong, but he's such a lovable guy. He's such a Christian guy. I see no personality clashes or conflicts between Antonio Brown and Derek Carr, so I think that would be absolutely fine. And then Mike Mayock, the GM, and also you'll need to look at the ownership as well. I think they're going to be, very nice and accommodating for Antonio Brown. He's a diva. He needs to be pampered, right? You need to invite him over for Thanksgiving. You got to do all of that. I think they're set up to do that. It's ridiculous that I have to talk about this. We're talking about Antonio Brown as if he's a baby, but this is the conversation he's making us have, so this is the conversation we're going to have. And you look at the contract, it's a 3-year, $50 million deal. So they scraped his Pittsburgh Steelers contract, and it's now 3 years, $50 million. That's an average of $16.67 million per year, and he's getting $30 million of that guaranteed. and I like that contract. I think that's a good contract for Antonio Brown. Now, after this contract, he'll be done, right? I think after this contract, he'll be definitely at the end of his career, and you don't want to re-up him for this kind of deal, but I think it's a good value for what you're getting in Antonio Brown there. So that's the perspective from the Oakland Raiders. Let's get now to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you know, it just sucks. I mean, you just had to do it. You had to get the best compensation possible, and you had to trade him to a team, you know, that was going to, be good enough for him to go to. Like, you guys probably would have gotten a better deal from the Buffalo Bills, I'm assuming, right? I think that's the assumption, but he didn't want to go. He shut it down, and that's just unfortunate for you. That just absolutely sucks. But, you know, again, he's been crying like a baby, and sometimes you got to give the baby his milk, right? And he got his milk as he goes to the Oakland Raiders. So it does suck. You lost the trade, but at least you got rid of him, okay? So there's no more headache, so you like that. But I mean, look, 2 years ago, you had Le'Veon Bell, you had Antonio Brown, you had Ryan Shazier, you had Big Ben playing the best football of his career, and you had to be thinking a Super Bowl is going to be coming down the pipeline soon. Soon afterwards, you draft TJ Watt, you draft Juju Smith-Schuster. Those were two excellent draft picks they're still on your team, and you still love that. But man, you just gotta feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers' reign of being two Super Bowl contenders is at least gonna take a break. Okay, it depends though if they can have another great draft class, right? If they can fill the holes that Antonio Brown will leave on the offense, they will be fine. Now, the offense I think will be okay, I think it'll still be pretty good even, because you still have Big Ben at quarterback, who has been throwing too many interceptions lately, had 16 in this past season, but he threw for 5,000 passing yards. Now, those numbers are going to go down, okay? He's not going to throw for 5,000 again without Antonio Brown, but you still have Juju Smith-Schuster, who to me is a number 1 wide receiver. I think he's going to prove that this season. I think he proved it last season. He had more production, or at least more yardage, than Antonio Brown. I expect more to say from Mr. Smith-Schuster. James Washington, I'm not a fan. Now, he might improve, but he caught less than 50% of his targets last season, only 217 yards in 500 snaps. That's not good. Okay, now he's gonna get more targets. Can he do more of those targets? We'll see. You look at your free agents, Darius Hayward-Bay. I'm pretty sure Justin Hunter is a free agent. Well, and he's never really done much for you anyway. You're going to have to sign some wide receivers, and good luck with that, because a free agency wide receiver class, it's a mixed bag, and not a very good bag, right? This is not a bag of, Jolly Ranchers. This is a bag of, baked beans or something. I mean, it's just average. I mean, you just see guys like Adam Humphries, Golden Tate's the best one. Maybe you could take a chance on Des Bryant or Devin Funchess, Randall Cobb, but there are no definitive answers out there at wide receiver. You're not gonna really find a great wide receiver to me out there. So I think you have to be looking at that 20th pick, trying to suck to wide receiver. Now everyone's on the DK Metcalf train. I'm not. So let him go higher, and you take AJ Brown or some other wide receiver that falls through the cracks, N'Keal Harry, and you might get a better deal to me. I'm more higher on those guys than, yes, the huge, explosive DK Metcalf. I'm not on that train, but we're going to talk about that more as we get into the draft process. So yeah, it sucks. It stinks. But next time, tell Kevin Colbert to keep his mouth shut. Don't talk about 52 kids, nothing. Keep your mouth shut. And Big Ben, he's going to have to improve his leadership skills, because I haven't heard anyone else complain, but you see the Le'Veon Bell situation, you see this Antonio Brown situation, these players leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers, refusing to play with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is not good. Things could blow up. I still think they're going to be okay. Around a 500 team, they have enough talent offensively, and their defense is good, very good. So I still think they're going to be around a 500 team, maybe even a playoff team. But things could blow up here, okay? So be careful, especially as we're nearing the end of Big Ben's career. If they have another disappointing year next year, Mike Tomlin could be gone, Big Ben could be aged, and they may have to replace him. So tread very lightly if you're a Pittsburgh Steeler. So those are my thoughts on the Antonio Brown trade. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.